In today's video, I'm in the beautiful Hualien Valley, a popular getaway for Taiwanese and foreign travelers alike. Join me as I explore the cultures and the scenery of this truly special place. Alright, so I'm here at the beach in Hualien City. I came down yesterday through the Taroko Gorge. Taroko Gorge, unfortunately, is closed to tourists for the next 3 years, right? And having driven through it, I can understand why. It's about 2:30 now. I've been driving for 4.5 hours, and I just got to a tunnel up here, and they told me road's closed until 4:20. Oh no! So I kind of just stuck again. Hey, buddy. So the reason the Taroko Gorge was closed was because in April that year, Hualien had a 7.4 magnitude earthquake. I'll include some footage from when that happened just to show the scale of it. But, you know, mountain gorges and earthquakes don't really go well together, so, you know, they had to close the park for, you know, the scale of the damage that happened. I didn't really realize that the park was supposed to be closed. It's closed unless you really need to cut through there, so I probably should have, you know, chosen a different path, but I went through the park anyway, and I could see why it's closed, and you can probably see why it's closed from the footage, right? So I really hope that the footage I've included, because I had to cut out a lot of it. I was basically filming the whole way, but yeah, I hope that the footage that I have included, it sort of captures the feeling I had of being there, which was like I was awed by the beauty, because it's a really stunning, beautiful place, but I was also terrified because those roads were sketchy as, and like the potential for like more rocks to fall down, like those overhangs that just sit on the top. Man, this does not make you feel calm. So this is my digs in Hualien City for the next 3 nights. Alright. And I think it doesn't look so bad. Looks half alright. Got a little bit of a view too. This one cost me bloody 2,200 for 3 nights. So like, I think it was 2,200 divided by 3. That's too much math for me right now. But it was really, really cheap. The reason for that is, I think there's 2 reasons. One is there was an earthquake that came through here not that long ago. And the other reason is it's Monday. So Monday through to Thursday. So, you know, like people typically come here on the weekend to, you know, unwind and relax. And alright, I'm not sure if I agree to all these rules, right? If you call the police and comply with local laws and regulations, you will be fined 10,000 NT. There's no fire source in the room, okay? That's probably a good thing, if there's no fire source in the room. I like this one as well. If you are carrying illegal drugs and dangerous items, you will call the police if found. And actually the worst part about that is if you call the police and comply with local laws and regulations, you will be fined NT 10,000. So you're just screwed in that case. Alright, so I was trying to find my way around, right? Trying to find Qinggong Street, right? And on the map it says it's here, but here you have a sign that says Herping Street, right? And it's these tiny little signs that you have to squint to see if you're driving, because they want to be all stylistic for a tourist town, right? So that way must be Herping Road. No, that is Qinggong Road. The sign's just wrong. Not only is it impossible to read while you're driving, it's just wrong. Also this one, Hualien, that way. This is Hualien. This is like Hualien City Center. What? Why? But I mean, otherwise, this is like a nice kind of semi-walking street. Coffee, cake, and goods. Oh my gosh. Apparently this is a non-pizza. 160 NT. It's a little bit shit. So in the Hualien night market, I got Brazilian pies and Brazilian cocktails. Obviously, you know, exactly what you expect from a night market in Taiwan is delicious Brazilian food. Very good. We got 3 of them. First one was pizza with vegetarian ham. That was pretty nice. It's a beef one. It's pretty good. And a chicken one. They're about 80 NT each. The cocktail was 250, which is a bit ridiculous, but that's what you get for buying cocktails. Although behind me you can see that today the sea is pretty calm. This side of Taiwan, the east coast, is where typically the tropical typhoons, those powerful storms, will make landfall. You have these sort of sudden, sharp mountains coming straight out of the ocean, and along the coastlines, when you get those erratic, strong typhoons, they can cause a lot of damage, creating these kinds of beautiful coastal rocky areas carved out by all, you know, this erratic weather and the extreme rains and all that. So you get some really, really beautiful spots all up and down this coastline here. So apparently, this is the March Cave, right? Apparently it's a type of car, and if you look, it's the shape of a car. That's pretty awesome. Here is the dividing line for the Tropic of Cancer. So this line here, you go north, you're subtropical. If you go south, now you're in the tropics. Now it's tropical. And it's kind of interesting that for such a tiny country, that it is divided along these lines, where if we go south from here, it's tropical. There is no winter. Basically, you go south of here, in the winter time, it'll still be like sunny and 20 something degrees. Whereas if you go north, there are pretty pronounced winters. Like in the Taipei area, the summers can get up to 40 degrees, but the winters can get down to about sometimes 8 degrees. I think it got down to 8 degrees last year, where it was just ridiculously cold. So yeah, even for this tiny little country, you have this right here is the dividing line between the Tropic of Cancer, right? So right now I'm in the Tropic of Cancer. Now I'm subtropical. This is a church that looks like a boat. They have in Chinese, Yesu ai ni. Jesus loves you. Alright, I'm here in Fangbin, which is a small village south of Hualien. Fangbin is inhabited mostly by an indigenous Taiwanese culture known as the Amis. And right now it is their harvest festival, which means that there's going to be a lot of traditional dances, traditional clothing, and traditional food. Hopefully, I want to have some roast pork. Hopefully. And the chairs in the middle, the tribal elders and the chief are sitting around in a circle. And then these guys around the outside are just the younger men of the tribe who are doing the dancing and the singing, while the elders and the chiefs sit in the middle in the circle of chairs. Okay. So if you look at the outfits that they're wearing, the guys who aren't wearing shirts are the youngest members of the tribe. And then just the kind of clothing that they're wearing shows you like their seniority, who's older, who's younger. And over here we have the women who are getting ready to join the festival. So I've just been told, apparently the Amis society is a matriarchal society. So it's the women who are in charge of decision making. And the household is run by the mother. Everyone has to listen to the mother. And it's the women in society who make the decisions. So that's quite interesting. It seems to be a pattern amongst Austronesian societies that women hold a lot of status in comparison to, say, like old world societies, like European or Asian societies. So it's pretty cool. So this festival is only 3 days out of the year. I just happened to be coming through here. I didn't plan to come here. And lucky I have a local friend who doesn't want to be on camera. But they told me about this festival, because it's not like put on for tourists or anything. This is a genuine local festival. So I just double checked, and so the Amis people, their language is more similar to all of the Polynesian languages, like Samoan, Hawaiian, Maori, than it is to the other languages of Taiwan. So there's 16 existing Taiwanese indigenous languages, and Amis, the language this tribe speaks, or this culture speaks, is more similar to Maori than it is to any of the other Taiwanese languages, which is pretty crazy fact. There's a bloke going around. He's got like a kind of liquor in a bamboo tube. He's gone around giving everyone a shot of it, and he says in 30 seconds you'll feel love. And it was pretty strong. I feel pretty good, so he wasn't lying. It's really smooth too. Like, feels strong but very smooth. Huh?
你好吗？
哦，那好，谢谢。
这是我们的祭酒哦，1年就1坛而已。对，它是在我们云林。
Just got a second shot. This one is xiaomijiu, right? Which is like, it's made from millet, and it's the indigenous people of Taiwan. It's a pretty popular drink amongst them. You'll find it in any like tourist market where there's like a indigenous presence, and it's really sweet. Usually if you buy it in a bottle, it's like carbonated, but this one was just like a kind of sugary sweet kind of little shot. Pretty nice though. And